What are the Knicks doing?
Not winning. They're
No.
down. Oh no, no, don't hit that. It's they're down 4
Oh,
still,
well,
but
that's not
that's
bad.
good. No,
Four,
no, no. The
four is
Knicks,
overcomable.
the Knicks is a fourth quarter team. They hustle in the fourth quarter. Things will get right, and the
They're a
Sixers will
Thibodeau
have the
team.
opposite. Yep.
He will keep his starters in to the last minute. If you're up 20 or down 20, it don't matter.
Well, we lost the player for the season.
Who'd you guys lose?
Um, Bogdanovich. He
Oh,
was our backup off the bench. When we lost him, I said, "It's a strong chance that Hart and Brunson play uh,
oh,
the entire
like
game,
all minutes. Yeah,
the entire game with no effective scoring off the bench.
that's
Just don't
tough.
go to your bench. Just don't go to your bench."
Now that's a I always liked Tom Thibodeau as a coach, but I will say this. I tired of Tom Thibodeau as a coach after a certain amount of time because it was just like running dudes for 48 minutes. You're just like, how? Why are you doing that? Luol Deng does not need to play 47 and a half minutes of this game. He just doesn't need to do it.
Sometimes I wonder if, like, watching the Knicks and hearing the Knicks play, like, the Knicks have a bunch of players that, they subbed Jalen Brunson. That's good. Give him some rest for the last couple minutes. I'm not mad at that, but uh yeah, I've always wondered, do these guys ask for it? Because these guys are professionals, right? They
Mm-hmm.
are professionals in the peak of their career for the most part. It was out of bounds. For the peak of their career, like,
Yeah,
why wouldn't you want to be in the game?
I agree, but but then there's a point where
It's up to your coach to save you from yourself, and he does not. That he
no,
won't do.
and even when asked for that when he used to coach the Bulls, he'd say, "Well, these are young kids that are exactly what you just said in the height of their physical conditioning. These are premier athletes. They should be able to run
Yes.
for 48 minutes." And he would run them. He ran
Yeah.
them. Man,
Hmm.
better or for worse, D Rose's knee.
Yeah.
But then even then, like I remember when it happened, I was like, "Why is he on the floor?" And then I look back, they're up 12 with like a minute 10, right? In a playoff game against LeBron James. Like,
Mm.
do you pull him there? Like we're on the cusp of like everyone shoots threes until they die era of basketball. Like, do you pull? I mean, LeBron is literally the best player on the planet at the time. Like, there's nobody better than him.
Yeah. It's hard. Oh, he did. He didn't have a great game. Well, he had a good game. He had 30 points last night, but they lost. They lost.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did. And I know I don't because I clicked on some sort of LeBron throwing a tantrum on the sidelines. Now my timeline is filled with
Oh, did you get him? What? Did you get him jumping like a baby?
yeah, I got that one. There was another one last night where he walked across the court, up the sideline, and did one of those.
Yes.
And a
And
woman.
such long lady.
I was
The
like, what?
lady.
If it was any fan, it doesn't matter. But two, it's like it's just so. I guarantee it was some dumbass belligerent person screaming, and just happens to be a woman, and he did the little "I'm gonna punch you right in the mouth" move at her, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Watch, I'm about to sock you one.
Yeah, shut your mouth. I will teach you a lesson, LeBron style. I don't know. It was weird. Like it's so weird. Like to be that good of a player, but like I get it. He's emotional too. Like it's just like you need to like chill a little bit, just a little bit. Oh, that's a bad face.
Yeah, with the crossover into a 3-pointer. Not a good move, but yeah, Tyrese Maxey is playing real good. But I still think we got it. It's 8 minutes left to go, 9 minutes left to go in the game. We're down 5. We don't have Brunson in. He's got a break right now, so they are definitely trying. Okay, points. All right.
You know what I miss about the NBA?
What's that?
The first round was only 5 games.
Yes,
I miss that.
a little.
Yeah, because you would get the one time ever 8 upsetting a 1, right? When Denver beat whoever was number 1, I don't remember.
Seattle.
Seattle, right?
It was the Seattle
And
Supersonics.
you
Yep.
got the iconic image of Mutombo laying on the ground holding the basketball. Yes, that one right there. That was a 5-game series. I think that was the last year they had it. They're like, oh, we got to change these rules because an 8 just beat a 1.
Because 8 beat a 1.
And it's the only time it's the only time it happened before that. It never happened prior. I like the 5-game series because it was quick. And it felt like now like you got 4 7-game series to get through. It's just like it feels like it goes
It's
on forever.
tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Those 7 game series are rough.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I like the 7 game series, but like you said, for the first game, get it out of here. Let's make it as fast
Get
as we
that first
possibly.
round out because, like, nobody wants to watch 7 games of 1v8, right? And most of the time, it's not 7 games of 1v8. It's usually 4 or 5, right? Like that's just
Yes.
how it goes, right? So might as well just make it a 5 game series. For
The only well, I don't want to jinx my team, but there probably is only one series that might go 7 games this in the first one.
mm,
Um, and I'm not going to say what team. It could be mine. Well, I'm saying I don't want to jinx my team.
yeah,
But yeah, but I'll say right now, Orlando and Cleveland are tied 2-2 in their series, and the
Orlando
game scores
Magic.
47 to 48. So I'll tell you what team I'm choosing.
I kind of love that the Orlando Magic are good again. Remember where they were, like it was only like a couple years ago they were terrible. And
They got a lot of draft
and
picks.
well, you know why?
The
The
Bulls.
Bulls. The Bulls said, "Hey, here's all of our draft capital for like the next 6 years for Vooch," and they just
Yeah.
keep like re-signing him too. Like we love this guy, and he's mediocre. Like
Mediocre is a good thing that he is. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
he's tall, not a very good rebounder, not a very good shooter, doesn't have offense. He just fills space. I don't know.
he's tall.
Yeah, that's about it.
He can shoot.
Sometimes,
Sometimes.
if I ever watch Bulls game, which is very rarely anymore, and I see that man like line up at the 3-point line, I'm just like, why?
Which he does.
Like, what are you
Which
doing?
he does.
That's like when I went to that Bucks game. That's all what's his face did.
Oh.
Lopez just stands at the
Oh.
3-point line. Same thing with Crazy Eyes. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about. Was on the Bulls. What is his name? God bless it. Bobby Portis.
Oh yeah, he's got
Crazy Eyes
eyes.
Bobby.
You're correct.
He just
You're
lines up at
correct.
3-point line too. Did you know that Bobby Portis is not a shortening of anything? His real name, his birth certificate name is Bobby.
You know what? You know what? I'm not mad at that.
No, I think it's
I
kind
actually
of funny.
like that.
I like it. Yeah.
I tell people I don't. If you want your child to be named Bobby, you don't name him Robert.
No.
Like you know what I'm saying? If you know that's what you want your child to be named, you don't call him you don't name him Robert.
Nope. Straight up Bobby. Bobby Portis.
Mhm.
Which is I don't know if I've ever seen anyone else with that, right? I'm sure there might be other people, but he might be the only one for all I know.
And I'm gonna tell you, Bobby usually starts. Bobby's a kid.
Yes.
He then becomes Bob to his coworkers,
Yep.
and he's Mr. Robert once he becomes a grandfather.
Yep.
Again. He goes back to Robert. But if you never want to be Bob or Robert, I'm Bobby.
What if he wants to be Bob or Robert and now he doesn't have the opportunity?
See, but the thing is, he could be Bob.
That's true.
He can't be Robert.
Isn't that wild? What's your name? Bob, short for Bobby. What?
Yep.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah. And people's like, Robert? No, it's Bobby. But you go by Bob. Yes, because it's short. It's obviously the shortened form.
Okay. We got to talk draft. But before we talk draft, because we're talking about Bobby Portis, we got to talk about my 2 favorite draft picks that aren't Bears.
the ones that just happened this time?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll start with them because they're unique. Let's go with Xavier Leggett. This is my new favorite human being on earth, I think.
This is the one thing I'd ask. Had you not heard his voice before it? There was a whole big thing that was like, this voice shouldn't be coming out of this man. Like before the draft.
No, I don't. I very rarely watch videos with sound. So if your video does not have subtitles, I won't watch it.
Okay.
But I don't know why I watched this one. And I think it was like somebody called him like Boomhauer or something like that from King of the Hill.
You had to hear his
I
voice
was
now.
like, what? This
Yes,
guy
he's
is
got that
so
country
country.
voice.
It is like the most country thing I've ever heard my entire life. I never heard that voice, that sort of like twang dialect that he's got. Ever.
South Carolina.
I thought it was Cajun at first. I was like, no, it's not. Because when he did the for real at the end, I was like, oh man, that is like some sort of country.
is he from the Gullah, like the Gucci Gullahs in that area?
I don't know.
There's a group of
He's
people
from
from
South
that area.
Carolina. He's
Yeah,
like
that's
South
South
Carolina for
Carolina.
real. Like he probably
Yes.
walked miles to
Fish
school.
and fishes all the time. That's what he does
Yeah.
probably for his
Yep.
for his I fish and I hunt because
Yep.
that's all we had.
Yep. I guarantee it. But man, he was like the happiest human being on the face of the earth, telling his story. Come to get me at 9:30 in the morning. I'll be ready. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then trying to hold back the tears. And I was like, oh my God, listen to this guy. He's so happy, but I can't understand a word he's saying. I must have watched this video like 10 times just to get it all. I loved it. I love this guy. I hope him and Bryce Young are like this 1-2 combo for Carolina and they
Yeah.
become something. Like I just, because
Now that you don't have their pick and don't care.
yeah, because well, I hope they're bad this year because we still have their second round pick, which if they're really bad becomes like a first round, like a bonus first. But like, yeah, because, yeah, I don't care, and I want them to be successful. Like, there's something about it, and like him just being, and they traded up back into the first to get him.
Yeah. So make it worth it. He's got to be.
They wanted that 5th-year option for a reason. I guess just to have press conferences. I guess I don't know.
We just need to hear you talking, sir.
Yes. Please don't ever change because it's amazing, and please just be that happy when you talk the entire time because it's like a real thing. Like it's a vibe, and I like it.
I like that about some of the players. Like dude that used to play for why can't I think of his name? He used to play for the Lions, the running back, then play for the Saints.
Oh yeah. What is his name? I love him too.
Don't call him Pokemon. Don't call him Pokemon.
Yeah, the Pokemon guy. What is his name? It's killing me. I can't think of it. Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams.
Yes.
Like
big into anime. Genuine character. Like
just they asked him about beignets. He's like, overrated.
Well, oh man, that'd put a whole state on alert right there if you do that.
He did it while he was in New Orleans. They was asking him, what do you like about the food? He's like, what do y'all call them, little donuts? He's like, you mean beignets? He's like, yeah, all right, they're just overrated.
Man, there was a week last year where he was on NFL Network like as a host for Good Morning Football, like a sit-in host. Just the most interesting dude they've had on there ever. Like he would come in wearing the Naruto headband and just sit there and do like a 3 hours on TV wearing a Naruto headband and a T-shirt with Pikachu on it. And you're just like, all right.
Yes, this is how I am.
Yep.
I'm not changing it, and I like that.
Yeah,
I like that
for real.
It's wholesome.
It's funny and cool, but he's like genuinely interesting. Like that's not just his personality is wearing a Naruto headband. He's not like the kid with the yo-yo, right? Like it's like,
yeah.
Oh, your personality is a yo-yo. And I don't know, just liked him. And then the other kid we got to talk about is the other wide receiver that was taken by the Bills, Keon Coleman. Same thing. Same thing. When they asked him, he's like, "How do you like my coat?" Like he asked them, like, "What do you think about my coat?" They're like, "Oh, what do you think I got it?" And the dude said something. He's like, "I don't know what that is. I got it at Macy's, $79,
like
$89.
$90.
I got all the colors. I gotta go back and get more." I'm like, "This guy's the best."
But I was thinking, was it really that cold in Buffalo?
No, probably not. But he's from Florida and Louisiana, right?
So he got the temperature, got the 60, and he said, "I need a coat."
Yeah, I mean, you live in Texas, hot ass Texas. But I remember living in Florida when it would drop down into the 50s. It was like panic, cold. Right? People would go out in parkas and stuff, and just like, what are you doing? Like, I'm going home to visit at Christmas time, and I'm wearing shorts off the plane, and it's 10 below.
Yeah.
But he did that, and then they were recording him. I don't know if you saw this one. He was like in the training room, and they have like a cold room. And he goes in there, it's like, oh God, it's really fucking cold in here. Like, but when they opened the door, all like the steam, like the cold air, like came to steam. He's like, oh, it's like the Undertaker. I'm gonna go back in there and kill the lights and play the music. So he goes in there, the lights are off. He opens it up, and he's standing there. You can see a silhouette and all like the cold air rolling out, and they're playing the Undertaker music. So I'm like, this guy's the best. I like him too.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. We get Malik Neighbors where they asked him again, like, hey, about, he's like, I don't have any comment about Daniel Jones. I don't want to talk about it.
The best part about that is like, have you met Daniel Jones? Yeah, I met Daniel Jones. He cares so little. He called him Daniel Jones. He knows he's not there next year.
Yeah, he could be. If
No,
you if you show out Mr. Neighbors, he could still be here.
no, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that could save Daniel Jones. I'm pretty sure. Well, let's talk about the Giants draft then.
Yes.
Malik Neighbors.
Uh yeah. First of all, let's talk about how they did the right thing and didn't go out and get one of those trashy
Hold
quarterbacks.
on.
I don't know if they're trashy.
Let's slow down just a little bit. From everything that I saw, multiple people said they did try to trade up to 3. They offered
Yes.
6, the following one, 2025 one, and another pick to move up to 3 for Drake May. That's what they wanted.
For Drake May.
For Drake May.
I saw that they said they never wanted a quarterback, and at 3 they wanted Joe All.
Well, now that's a possibility, but then why wouldn't you go to 4 then?
Maybe they didn't have a relationship with
Well, that's
4.
true. But like all you gotta do is get ahead of the Chargers, right? But
Yeah, and the Cardinals wasn't giving up that pick.
But yeah, maybe probably.
I told you if you don't get what's the name a quarterback, then bad things are gonna happen. Not a wide receiver, then he's gonna just leave. He's just gonna quit your team.
But you're gonna tell me that the Cardinals could not be swayed to move from 4 to 6?
6, they would have had Rome or
Malik.
That
Neighbors,
seems
right?
like they could have been swayed for that.
So I saw the Giants had no interest whatsoever in JJ McCarthy.
Good,
which is good.
Smart,
very
smart.
Good. But I did see that they had interest in Drake May.
I don't know.
Whether you want to believe it or not, that's what I read.
No, I'm not saying I didn't believe it. I said I don't want that.
I know you didn't want it, but I don't think it would have been a bad move, right? But let's say that they tried, and the Patriots said, nah. Now, the Vikings apparently tried to move into the same spot. They offered 11, 23, next year's 1, and other mid-round picks.
That's foolish. Like
they wanted Drake May. They were willing to give up all of that to get the Drake May.
Man, the Patriots, that's a lot. That would have been a haul.
Hell yeah. That would have been very Bears to Panthers deal. You know, like minus DJ Moore.
I might take. The only thing is, next year's first isn't going to be the Bears. It's not. They're not that. The Lions team is not going to be as bad as the Panthers team was. So let's just say that next year's first is a 6th pick.
Yeah.
So.
And it's supposed to be a thinner, you know, like we talked about last time, and we're a year out, but everybody's saying it's a thinner draft class. I've seen the way too early mocks, right? People put them out like the day after the draft ends, and most of them don't even have Shedeur Sanders in the first round.
In the first round?
In the first round, yes.
Like I said, I saw that
I saw
would have been the number 2 quarterback this year.
I saw one mock draft that had him as the number 1 pick, and I'll tell you why. That mock draft had the Giants picking second.
Giants picking him?
Giants picking second, and the Raiders trading up to 1 to take Shedeur Sanders. That was the only one that I've seen him going in, even in the first round, right? Which is kind of crazy. So
no, it's once again with quarterbacks, it's really about need, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone feels like they got their quarterback except for the Giants this time around, right?
But then there'll be 4 more teams next year that need their quarterback, right? There always are. There's always 4 or 5 teams that want to draft a quarterback.
I'm trying to think who would be a team that needs the quarterback.
Yeah, prepare for it. It's going to be teams like the Raiders. It's going to be teams like
New Orleans, possibly.
New Orleans, right? It's going to be
the Rams would probably look for a new quarterback if they can get an opportunity for their future.
The Buccaneers, right? Like even though they just gave Baker money, when they stumble next year and 5-12 and Baker has an off year, then even though I like Baker, I mean it's totally within the realm of possibility. They'll be looking for a quarterback, right?
It is. There's also those other people who got quarterbacks last year, but might not be like Anthony Richardson if you're not sold on him.
Yeah, what if he can't stay healthy? If he can't stay on the field, then he's not worth having, right? What about the Cowboys, right? Like
Yeah.
if they can't keep Dak, they're in desperate need of a quarterback. Who knows? But
So yeah, I was hoping that it was just the Giants that was sitting there looking for a quarterback, but it's possible that it's there's other
yeah,
teams.
we'll see. We got to let the season play out. You never knew who's gonna like rupture an
Yeah.
Achilles or do whatever, right? You just don't know.
Yeah.
But the Giants did okay. I thought in the draft. I thought the Giants had a decent draft. Malik Neighbors at 6, solid pick. Fast field extender, good hands, good route runner.
They hit all the positions of need.
Yep. Tyler Nugent, the safety out of Minnesota, one of the top 2 safeties in the draft. Got him.
Yeah, they had him at 2.
Yep. Not a bad. I don't know much about Andrew Phillips, the cornerback they took from wherever they took him from. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know much about most of those people, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. Tight end Theo Johnson.
The position of need because they just don't know what's going to happen with Waller.
Yeah.
And then a running back.
Tyrone Tracy Jr. That he's from Purdue. Could be the best Purdue
running
back since I don't even know when.
Yeah, I saw some highlights look good.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
it's a
highlights make everyone look good. That's what they're for.
Except for JJ McCarthy. I'll tell you what, every JJ McCarthy highlight package I see, he's like bouncing it off a helmet to it for a touchdown. It's like, well, that's that skill. And then I don't know who Darius Mousau is. Muasu? I don't know.
Oh, linebacker, right?
Yeah.
From somewhere on the West Coast.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But I thought the draft was fine. They didn't make any moves. They stayed put. I think they may have dropped back on one round or maybe stayed just put the whole way. I mean, I watched like a masochist, watched 90% of the draft. So I don't remember them doing anything spectacular. But they did take the right pick. I don't know if Malik Neighbors is happy about his landing spot, but...
Yeah, that's too bad for him. I told you, you don't get that. You don't get an option.
Yeah.
You don't get and I knew it I was like, I don't think he's happy with being there, but that's it. That's my pick.
Yeah.
Wasn't my pick. Rome was my pick, but only because of height. I said, I think that Neighbors is the better all around wide receiver, but I needed 6'2".
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with you. I'm on the board.
Now you're on Rome
Odunze. Rome Odunze was my pick too. And I'm on board with him being the best receiver. Did they win?
Not yet, but it's Knicks up 5 with 1 minute and 9 seconds left to go.
Wow, that's nice. That's a nice little flip flop there. That's a 10-point swing. That's not bad.
Oh, they. Oh my God, they're playing amazing defense. This is getting.
Oh, they want to win this. They want to win this round, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is getting bad. Yes.
But the Giants, they did good, and I still. We'll talk about Rome Odunze later. I don't know why we would have to talk about Rome Odunze on the Bears and Giants podcast.
Listen. I listen. I like Rome. Like I said, I was happy with your pick. I did not want it. We talked for how many weeks about please. I don't want y'all to have him. Basically, that was basically what, because I was like, please don't let this draft fall to them. But the minute you said, and I was on board when you said it, I was like, okay, Chargers. The minute they were going for Joe Alt, I said, y'all are going to get one of the top wide receivers in the game, in the draft.
Yeah.
There was no way. It was just a matter of if y'all were high on Malik Neighbors and the Giants would have picked Rome. But you said you don't think they would have picked.
I don't think they would have took Malik Neighbors. So there were the three most obvious picks in the entire draft were Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Joe Alt. You could have set your watch to those 3 picks, and you would have been right. All 3 times. Like they're most obvious. And when Joe Alt wasn't at the draft. Did you see like his whole like get up and stuff? They cut to Joe Alt. He lives like in a Minnesota log cabin. His dad was a left tackle for the Chiefs for however many years. Dude stands up. He's bigger than his dad.
I've heard that. I haven't seen the pictures.
He's wearing a quarter zip and khakis. Like everybody there looks like they just got done fishing or hunting because that's all you do in Minnesota, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're like, well, we got to go in for the draft. And they sat there. And I guarantee the moment it was done, they shut everything down. They're like, well, have a nice night, eh? Have a nice night, eh? Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, eh? And that's what happened. Like, this dude is like, so somebody wrote it down. It's like, enormous man with negative drip. He's going to be a Hall of Fame
course,
offensive
of
tackle.
course.
Like he doesn't. He's not even. He's negative. Like he's negative everything. He's probably the most vanilla. Like he's just an enormous man.
And he was born to play offensive line. That's all he does.
Yeah, that's all he's probably ever known. His dad probably had him blocking like shopping carts when they would go to the Kroger or whatever. You know, it's like, man,
get in your stance.
Yeah. He's like kicking back and pass pro.
Yep.
It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh.
Most obvious pick in the entire draft was that. And then when it happened, I was like, yes. Now
I'm gonna tell you, I thought the top 5 was chalk because, like I said,
top
Marvin
5
Harrison
ended up being
to
chalk,
me,
yeah.
Marvin Harrison was the pick for the Arizona Cardinals.
You're right. It ended up being straight chalk. And I think we called the first 5.
Yeah.
Right? We called you called Rome Odunze, but a wide
I did call
receiver at 6.
Yeah.
Right? And then I called a tackle at 7. I just called the wrong tackle at 7. And then 8 happened.
Nobody saw. That's not good. Nobody saw. He was about to do a 4-point play. He just did a 3-pointer. Oh no. Okay, but nobody saw what was going to happen with the 8th pick.
Nobody. No human being alive predicted it.
That 8th pick thing was that's crazy.
It was absolutely insane.
I don't see the value in it. I'm trying. I've been trying. I'm going to tell you, I have been trying to see the value in that pick. I don't know what it is though.
There's been a lot of mental gymnastics after that draft night to justify it. It's like, oh, see, they don't think they're going to be picking there again. Guess what? They've been picking there every year for the last decade, right? Ever since they went to the Super Bowl, they've been picking in the top 10. That's just what they do. They're the Atlanta Falcons. Like, oh, we're never going to be the worst thing to be is in a quarterback purgatory. I'm like, well, that's kind of your fault. You ran Desmond Ridder out there. You drafted Desmond Ridder as your savior, and you ran him out there. You got rid of your only good quarterback you've ever had, in what's his face, and yeah, he was at the end of his career, but oh no, but he could have got a couple more years out of him, and then been in the exact same position, right? Like it's just kind of where you're at. Like, oh, we need to be ready for when our now quarterback is done. Well, you just signed your now quarterback, Kirk Cousins, to a 4-year deal with $100
guaranteed.
He's like a $60 million cap hit this year or something like that, and he's like a $40 million cap hit next year. Like, I don't understand. Like,
oh my God,
did they lose?
No, Maxey just tied it up.
Oh my God,
it's 3 seconds to go in the game. That's no foul called. No foul called. It's going into overtime. That's crazy because Josh Hart missed a free throw at the end of the game.
That is the worst.
Jesus Christ. They are. Jesus Christ. He's been killing us all game long. This guy. This game was supposed to be over. I'm supposed to be talking crap to my friend, but it's in the regulation. We still got it. We still got this, but that hurts.
Yeah, you got 5 minutes here. You just got to turn it around. But you got a little break here. Take a deep breath. Michael Penix Jr., Kirk Cousins, $100 million guaranteed, 4-year deal. He's technically an out after 2, but he's still like $25 million dead cap if you cut him after 2.
And like I said, I'm not mad at I thought Michael Penix Jr. might have been one of the top quarterbacks in the draft.
Yeah, it's nothing against Michael Penix Jr. in any way whatsoever.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's all about why.
Yeah. Go ahead.
There's no way that Michael Penix Jr. was that high on their draft board. What kind of pick was that? Like, it just... if any draft board that they would have had,
I don't know.
If Michael Penix Jr. was that high, somebody in the organization should have been, don't we have
Yeah.
a guy ready that plays that position? Like, I don't get what the move was.
Here's the thing that I thought was insane. They had their 30-minute talk with him at the combine. They watched him throw at the combine. I don't remember seeing if they went to his pro day or not, but they didn't even have him in for a visit. Like, their last contact with him was at the combine. Like, and like they just fell in love with Michael Penix Jr. and his tape, I guess. I don't know. But
I can see that, but it's just not a position. It's
sense.
so far from a position of need.
Yeah.
It's not even a luxury position because like, I guess it's a luxury to have your backup on a 5-year option. Who's like, they are not the Packers. The Packers even did it and picked like 26,
yes.
the top 10 pick.
Yes. And it was like, and the thing that I find absolutely insane about the whole thing is they just signed Kirk Cousins. They just signed him like less than a month ago.
The ink ain't dry. They still.
Yeah. Like, he had a press conference saying, I'm excited to retire a Falcon. Right? He said that. He probably hasn't even met his teammates. I mean, probably through text and stuff like that. He's still recovering from a damn Achilles heel. They gave him all that money and said, you are our quarterback. We're in a win now position because we have tons of offensive weapons. And if you're win now, why are you getting a guy at 8 who you hope doesn't have to play for you for 4 or 5 years? They said that. Well, if we're lucky, he won't play for 4 or 5 years. Well, guess what, dipshit? You got to pay for him. You got to pay that 5th-year option, or what are you going to franchise him? But I mean, that's like the dumbest thing ever. Like, I don't get it.
You're definitely not franchising.
No, it does not make any sense.
But there's no but. There's no. It's a dumb move. It makes zero sense.
The mental gymnastics were, well, they don't think they'll ever be there again. Well, it's Kirk Cousins insurance. It's only the dude's never thrown an NFL pass. He's not insurance.
No, he's not.
How can he be?
He's developmental. You don't really want to go to him this year in case of a Kirk Cousins injury. Yeah.
They're like,
in the future, yes, maybe give him a year to develop. But right now, it would be hard pressed to try to go to him in the on an injury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it'd be difficult.
The quarterback.
And so help me, if you do go to him and he lights it up, Kirk Cousins is an absolute waste of money.
Yes.
Because you can't do anything.
You can't trade him. You can't cut him.
You're forced to play Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
So let's say Kirk Cousins is out for a concussion and he's got to miss 4 games and Penix tears that 4 games up. You have to put Kirk Cousins in. Yeah. You have to.
Money dictates that, yes, you have to put Kirk.
Money, yes, because no owner wants to look and see $100 million sitting on the bench.
Now, you want to know what's even more amazing about Kirk Cousins' contract? He has a no trade clause in it. He can. So, if I'm Kirk Cousins, and I don't think he's a petty man, but if I am Kirk Cousins, I am a petty man. So let's say that does happen. Let's say I'm Kirk Cousins and I pull a hammy and I'm out for like 2-3 weeks. Can't do anything. Penix comes in and lights it up. And they're like, Kirk, we want to move you. Nope. Kirk, we're going to run Michael Penix Jr. He's our future. All right. I'm Kirk Cousins. I just sat on the bench. I'm holding the clipboard. Like, I'm collecting that check. And I'm sorry, Atlanta Falcons. If you feel like that's an unfair thing and you're in a bad position, it's your own goddamn fault.
That would be the best thing to happen.
Yeah.
For me personally, just to laugh at them because it would be pretty dumb at that point.
Yeah. And then let's say they cut him next year. What if they're like, okay, fine, we're just going to cut you next year. Then they're Russell Wilsoning it. Like, they're eating like $60 million and just dealing with it.
Yeah, it's a Russell Westbrook situation.
Yeah. I mean, it is such a weird draft pick. And it's so, like, I don't know. It's like, I just bought a new car, but I'm gonna put one in the garage too, just in case the one I just bought breaks down. Like I don't understand. Like, why do you do that? Especially when they have so many needs on a defensive line that was dead last in pass rush last year. Like they were ranked 32nd in pass rush. But who am I? I'm not a GM. There's a reason why.
I thought they would went with a pass rush guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of pass rush guy, the Vikings.
Yes, we have to talk Vikings. They I think had one of the most unintentionally hilarious drafts. Whether it all works out for them or not, that's neither here nor there. I think what they did and how they did it is the most hilarious thing. I'm trying to find. I have a thing that I saved. I gotta scroll through a lot of Bears love here. Hold on, to find the thing that broke down what the Vikings actually gave up to get their two guys, which was a ton. Oh my gosh.
The Vikings love. I mean, the Bears love. It's granted. I know why.
I have thoughts and weird trepidations about all of it. God bless it. Why don't I have? Oh, okay, so we'll just go this. I do know what this is. They ended up, so they hold. They really want Drake May, but they hold and they move up one spot to 10 to get JJ McCarthy.
One spot.
Fine, I get it. And then we got to talk about Sean Payton too. But fine, I get it. He jumps up. They get the guy that they wanted second, right? the consolation prize for what they really wanted. But now they still have number 23 in their back pocket, which they picked up because they thought they were going to be able to package it up to move up to the top 3. So they gave away next year's draft capital, next year's second, this year's something, or this year's second, next year's second, something else to get 23. So they gave up a bunch of stuff to get back into 23, and then they move up another 6 spots and gave up another ton of draft capital to get Dallas Turner. So what they did was the equivalent value-wise of a mid-round first for Dallas Turner. Like, excluding their pick, right? Like, their pick cost whatever 17's value was, but minus that pick, everything they gave up added up to a mid-first. Like, value-wise, point-wise. So they gave up a whole first-round pick to move up 6 spots.
6.
And it's kind of insane, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't. The Vikings were probably one of the biggest questions going into the draft.
Yes,
right. Because they had the ability to move up.
Yes,
they had all the picks.
Yes,
right. So they had the picks in the first round, which we all assume would get them someplace.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, they squandered the picks.
Oh yeah.
Did they have to move up one?
No.
I can see them trying to outrace the Patriots, but to me, it felt like they didn't have to. They were in a competition with themselves.
So they gave up in this draft to get up to 23. They gave up their this year's third. Oh no, the second, third, and fourth round picks in 2025, a 5th rounder and a late round swap pick this year to go from 42 to 17.
Oh. What something happened in this game?
Uh-oh.
I'm just shocked. The Knicks are first of all losing.
Oh no.
And that's not cool. But the guy who was killing us is down on the ground hurt. So he's getting back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Knicks are now about to be down 4 with 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go in this game. It's not looking good. The momentum has shifted and things are not looking good. But it's still 2 minutes to go in the game. I've seen crazier things happen in 2 minutes in less time. So
yeah.
So 6 quarterbacks in the first round of the
yes.
of the game of
Yes, 6
the
quarterbacks in the
NFL
first
draft.
12 picks,
Yeah.
which is insane.
And I don't do like was there 6 quarterbacks that were worthy of the first round?
No, no, there's probably 3, and the rest should have been like early seconds. But this intense FOMO, like I gotta get my quarterback, I gotta
Yes.
get my quarterback, I gotta get my quarterback.
But this it's it can't be their quarterback.
No,
It's a quarterback.
exactly.
Like there's no way that the Broncos are happy with
Bo
Bo
Nix.
Nix.
Well,
There's no
if you
way.
listen to Sean Payton, they're ecstatic because so Bo Nix the Oregon offense was a lot of dinks and dunks. And so they're like, oh, yeah, well, you know what? And he was a very accurate passer. Great. That's what Sean Payton likes, accurate passer, whatever. A lot of dinks and dunks. So he says, well, if you take out all of the behind the line of scrimmage or at line of scrimmage passes that Bo Nix threw, he's still very accurate. I'm like, okay, well, those are still his passes that he threw. It's like if you take out the stuff that you don't want to count, then yeah, it's like I don't understand, right? Like it's just manipulative statistics to get
Oh yeah.
to his position. But then I don't know if you saw the press conference. Sean Payton was like, "Yeah, we kind of psyched out the Vikings to trade up to 10 because we really wanted Bo Nix and blah blah." I'm like, shut your mouth, shut it. Shut it.
Really?
You just got the sixth quarterback in the draft. Right? There is not a history of the sixth quarterback in the draft being a home run. It just doesn't happen. And if Bo Nix is the first time it happens since Tom Brady, then good for them, right? Then they got a value at 12.
That's a scared pick.
Yes, it is.
Right? That's oh no, he's the only quarterback left.
Yeah.
Not that we wanted him. I wonder how many did they work him out? Did they see him?
Who knows?
Because it just seems like a bad pick.
Yeah. What's wild is like Ryan Tannehill is still a free agent right now, but because they're paying Russell Wilson $9 billion, they can't afford Russell.
They can't afford him.
They can't even afford Ryan Tannehill on a 1-year prove it deal, right? Like they can't even do that. So they have to go with Bo Nix and Zach Wilson and the other guy. I don't even know what his name is.
I would have just stayed with Zach Wilson and then made my team better somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that to me is just is not smart.
No, that's a wasted draft pick in my opinion, because you could have got anybody there, because up until that point, 11 picks, 5 quarterbacks, 3 wide receivers, and 3 offensive linemen. That's what that's what had gone off the board. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah, 3 offensive linemen. That was it. Because the Jets took an offensive lineman too.
Did?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So 3 tackles, 5 quarterbacks, 3 wide receivers. You got your pick of the best defensive player in the draft, right?
Yep.
You got your pick of the best. They could have took Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Who was a weapon, right?
They had options.
Yeah.
They had options. One of their options shouldn't have been Bo Nix. I just
Now, who was taking Bo Nix after that in the first round?
the only other option is the Oakland Raiders.
And then that would have been a scared pick for them, because they already have 2 starting quarterbacks, while one is Aiden O'Connell, the best quarterback to come out and produce since Drew Brees, and the other one is Gardner Minshew. And Gardner Minshew was a Pro Bowler last year.
Mm-hmm. I saw something today that talked about Gardner Minshew's numbers compared to Trevor Lawrence's.
Yeah, I'm sure they're relatively comparable.
They're better.
Better. Yeah. Now we got to look at this.
Yeah. In one fewer game.
If we're just looking at pure raw numbers, let's look for just from last year or in general.
In general, the last 3 years.
Well, all right. Let's see. Let's go. Trevor Lawrence. compare. All right. So here, Lawrence has played 50 games. Minshew's played 49.
49. Yep.
Trevor Lawrence, higher completion percentage, higher passing yardage per game, fewer touchdowns by one, more interceptions, lower passer rating.
Mm-hmm.
They both made the Pro Bowl once.
That was the dumbest play that you could have made, Brunson. The Knicks probably lost.
Yeah.
They got the ball back. Damn it. This is a tough one.
They go back to Philly now, too, don't they?
Yeah, they go back to Philly.
Yee.
It's just too many missed free throws this game.
Yeah.
It's going to be, oh, man. It's 15 seconds left to go in the game. Philly's up by 2. They're shooting free throws now. They got to make 2, both of them. Made the first one.
All right, so it's a 3-point game.
3-point game, 15-8 left on the clock.
It's still doable. They come down and hit a 3. They might be able to. Can they Reggie Miller him again?
They're gonna have to. But this one, it doesn't. That he just hit both of them.
All right.
He just hit both of them. Damn it! I don't know what Brunson was doing. He jumped past. He left his feet. You shouldn't leave your feet, Brunson. You know the rules. But yeah, no, this one's going to be sad. They had this game.
Yeah, that sucks.
They had this game, and this one's going to be a tough loss to overcome. Because you give them all the momentum going back to Philly.
Well, you just gotta.
You only got to win 2 more games. Yep. So
yeah, I mean, the pressure's on Philly. They have to win out, right? So
yeah, so they have to come back. Even if they win, they have to come back to New York
and win a third straight game.
And win a third straight game, which is going to be difficult. So I still like our chances, but I really wanted them to finish this game.
Yeah, it'd be nice
here.
If they finished it out, especially at home, and give yourself a couple more, like an extra day of rest.
Rest. You can sit at home. You ain't got to travel again. Because this one. Yeah, this one's gonna. It's not over yet, but it's not looking good. They've got to do too much.
Yeah.
They have to do too much. 15.8 seconds to go in the game, down 4. They had their opportunity. So
it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it is tough.
It's not out the realm of possibility. It's just that statistically speaking, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to overcome.
No, Gardner Minshew. It does have good numbers. I don't understand why anyone would really hate Gardner Minshew. He's a fine alternative, and he's a decent starting quarterback. So the Raiders don't necessarily need. The Raiders didn't need Bo Nix this year. So
no. Yeah, this game's over. Yeah, so I can close this one, and I'll deal with my friend later. But but yes, they probably didn't need Bo Nix, and if they don't get Bo Nix, then Bo Nix sits.
Yeah, like even
second round,
grab Bo Nix, like
the third round.
You already have your quarterback that you took in the second round last year or third round last year, and you got Gardner Minshew.
You talking about the
I'm talking about the Raiders. Like the Broncos didn't have a second round pick, so I guess I understand why you would try to grab.
Bo Nix might have been sitting there at third.
Yeah, that's true too, because Spencer Rattler sat to the 6th.
And he was the next quarterback off the board.
Next quarterback was 12 to the 6th round, like 166 or whatever it was.
Nobody was picking up Bo Nix.
No, nobody gave a rat's ass about Bo Nix. So, but Sean Payton's really smart though. He fooled those Vikings into trading up to 10. Like really good. I do think
they didn't need to do that.
No, they didn't have to.
Like I said, that's what I said. I think they was bidding with themselves.
I'm sure the Jets called and said, what are you willing to give me to move up to 10? Like, and then they said, "Oh, if they're asking, they must know something, right?" Like, if anybody fooled anybody, it had to be the Jets. Like, if anybody was being fooled, I don't know. The Vikings, if you look at anything Vikings, oh boy, they won the draft. They figured it all out. They got the fifth quarterback off the board, and they gave up like 7 different draft picks over 2 years to get Dallas Turner. So
I don't see. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't get it because, and boy, like I don't get this. Like, there's so much love about JJ McCarthy being the answer for the Vikings, and I just don't understand where it comes from because I don't like he hasn't. I'm very cautious about every rookie quarterback. None of them have thrown an NFL pass yet, and JJ McCarthy does not come from an NFL adjacent offense in any way whatsoever. And has never been asked to like really throw the ball in any meaningful way. But he's a winner. Dang it.
Yeah, once again, you know how we feel here about QBs and wins.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like that's not
it's not their
stat.
We throw it out there. We throw it out there all the time.
Yes.
We throw it out there all the time.
Well, I mean, he only lost 1 game in 2 years at Michigan. But I'll tell you what, that Michigan team was really good for 2 straight years and had one of the best coaches in college football. And I think Michigan sent like 10 people to the draft this year. They got drafted. Like they were the top school getting drafted this year.
I thought I saw 11 people from Texas.
There were a lot from Texas and a lot from Washington too.
And there probably didn't need to be 11 from Texas.
Yeah,
watching the team play over years.
Which school had the most draft picks 2024? Michigan, 13 players selected, followed by Texas, which had 11. And then, even Alabama only had like 8. Only. Let's see. Alabama.
But they had a bad year.
Bama, Florida State, and Washington all had 10. Georgia, Oregon, Penn State all had 8. Notre Dame, USC had 7.
I thought, where did I get that a number from of 11? That was
Texas had 11. Yeah,
they did. Oh,
Michigan 13, Texas 11. Yeah, so they had a lot from Michigan too. Yeah. Okay, so USC had 7. One of them was Caleb Williams, who went 1.
They had 7.
Yeah, USC had 7. One of them was Caleb Williams. His 2 wide receivers that were in the draft, Brendan Rice and the other guy, I can't remember what his name was. Both were late 6th, early 7th round picks. Right, so those were his targets, as opposed to like Jordan Addison last year. Right, so the Bears get Caleb Williams, greatest draft pick the Bears have ever had. I'm gonna throw it out there right now. Then they get Rome Odunze at 9, and the reason I think Rome Odunze was their guy, there's several reasons. One, Rome Odunze, Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, and Keenan Allen were running drills the week before the draft. And during that draft, Keenan apparently said to Caleb, he's like, oh, yeah, coach has got his deep ball guy. Right? So the plan was Rome Odunze. And then in the press conference, Ryan Poles, the greatest general manager the Bears have ever had, said that their statistical models, their analytics, whatever, predicted a 50-50 chance of Rome getting to 9. And he wanted to jump up. I thought the Bears were going to trade up to make sure they got a wide receiver. I was hoping Marvin Harrison Jr., but I'll take Rome Odunze too. And Ian Cunningham, their assistant general manager, had to talk him out of it. So it was Rome or bust. And I think if they got to 9 and Rome Odunze was off the board, they may have traded out of that spot. If they could find somebody that wanted to trade into it, they may have traded out of that spot. But I don't know how attractive it was with Michael Penix Jr. off the board at 8. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Don't like Rome Odunze going to the Bears at 9?
That's a strong team.
I'm so nervous right now because I have never had a Bears team look like this offensively in any way whatsoever. And here's why I'm so cautious. Caleb Williams has never thrown an NFL pass. Rome Odunze has never run an NFL route, right? And everybody on the face of the earth is talking about how good the Bears offense is. That scares the crap out of me. More than anything the Bears could do on the field. That scares me more than anything else. So I cannot get on the hype train. And it's true, right? Like people are like, name a better triplets of receivers in the NFL than they have right now. And I guess you have like the 49ers, right? Where you have Kittle and
Brandon Ayuk,
Ayuk and
Kittle,
Debo, right?
and
And
Debo.
then
But you're throwing a tight end in
yeah,
there.
but triplet weapon, right? Triplet receiver weapon, right? So there's that. There's them. Then you have Seattle's got uh, Lockett
And Jigba
and what's his face Metcalf, right?
Metcalf, yeah.
Then you have the Texans with Stephon Diggs, Nico
I
Collins,
wouldn't.
Tank Dell.
Oh, I forget about Stephon Diggs. You said Stephon Diggs. I was like, but yes, that's a
Stephon,
tough one. That's a
that's
good
a
one.
tough three right there, right? So there's some, but the Bears have like got like the Bears have two 1,300 plus yard receivers from last year, two former Pro Bowlers, and then they're bringing in one of the three best wide receivers, at least as from a prospect standpoint in the draft, and possibly possibly the best wide receiver in college football last year. If you look at numbers and deep targets and
It's gonna be
touchdowns and catch rate and contested catch rate, there's lots of stuff to love about. But it scares the absolute crap out of me. The absolute crap out of me because I don't know how to deal. I've never had this, and I'll tell you what. If now Caleb Williams has a very low bar to clear to break Chicago rookie records. He's got to throw like more than 2,200 yards, more than 15 touchdowns, complete more than 62% of his passes. Like, I'm not even kidding. And he's got to play 15 games. And that breaks every Chicago Bears rookie quarterback record.
If he doesn't break it, I'd be worried.
Everybody's chalking him in for like 4,500 yards right now.
If he doesn't break it, I'd be worried.
But
that'd be difficult to not break.
But here's the thing. I don't know how he doesn't break it. And I don't know how he doesn't do well because you have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. Those are your top three. Then you have Cole Kmet, and you have the other dude. I can't remember his name that they got from the Chargers, who was like a 600-yard receiver last year. And then you have DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, and Roshan Johnson.
That's tough. That's a good group of guys.
So here's some never before evers I'm going to throw out here for you. Never before ever has a rookie quarterback had two 1,300-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard rusher on his team.
On the team when he walks in the door?
Never before ever has a team drafted a quarterback and a wide receiver in the same round, in the same first round. Never before ever has that happened. So the Bears have invested so much into this offense and Caleb Williams because they want it to work. Because they couldn't make it work with Justin Fields. Because the first year Justin Fields was there, it was an absolute train wreck disaster. The second year was an absolute train wreck disaster. And the third year was like, we're turning the corner, but we're still a bit of a disaster. And some of that rests on our quarterback, right? It's tough, right? You can't turn it around in a year. And when Ryan Post took over, he's like, it's going to be a 3-year process. Well, guess what? This is year 3. And look what he's marching out there offensively. They have a revamped offensive line. They have arguably the best weapons in the NFC. How is that possible? Like, how is that possible, right? That doesn't make any sense. And that's including, you got the Eagles, who have A.J. Brown,
Devontae Freeman,
Devontae
Smith,
and Saquon.
Yeah.
Right? That's a really good 3 right there.
That's solid.
Right? That the Cowboys, they have CD.
They don't have anything else.
Right? But like, what else is in the NFC? Like, I guess the Falcons, Drake London and Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts.
The
Darnell
Lions. No.
Tampa Bay of Evans and Godwin.
Tampa Bay's Evans and Godwin.
I don't know what else is there after that, right? The Vikings, J.J. Addison, and now they have what's his face that was on the running back that was on the Packers last year. Can't remember his name.
Oh, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, yeah. But and they also have T.J. Hawkinson, right? So they have nice weapons.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. Right? They have good weapons and they have a good offensive line. They just have J.J. McCarthy. I don't see how that works.
San Fran is still
San Fran's
tops.
still got to be considered king of the hill, right?
The Rams got Puka and Cup.
And Cup and Kyron Williams, right?
Yeah, do they have Everett too? Who's their tight end? Not a great.
I don't
I thought
know.
it was
I don't know
Everett.
off the top of my head. But like they're good. Seattle's good, right? They got weapons. But the
Arizona
Bears have never
just
had this before. Ever.
no, they haven't. It's
Ever.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. Eberflus better pray to God they win more than 9 games.
Yeah. For sure.
Anything less than 9, he's out.
If
They're going to now look for a coach that wants to coach
and who
a
wouldn't?
rookie quarter
Who
exactly,
wouldn't
and they're
want
going to
that
get
situation?
an offensive minded coach,
You got the pick of
maybe
the
a
litter.
young coach. You got the pick of the litter, so he is the the pressure's on him.
Yeah. If they don't
The
win more than
pressure's on
9
him.
and the losses are due to just absolute coaching blunders, which is not outside the realm of possibility. But
Not
there's a hope. I have a hope and a pray, right? Like he's a rookie. He's a first time head coach. He's not a rookie anymore, but he's a first time head coach. This is his 3rd season. Like there's a learning curve, right? You get better. You pick up stuff along the way, tips and tricks. Like you figure it out, right? I'm hoping that happens because he doesn't have the head coach personality that makes him endearing, like a Robert Saleh or something. But Robert Saleh hasn't done shit, right? But he doesn't have that, right? Like he doesn't, or McDaniel's, right?
Daniels.
Like he doesn't have that. He grew a beard this year, so he's got that going for him. I don't know, but I just hope that like the coaching comes together, turns the corner, figures it out. Because like,
Can I ask a question though? How many of last year's games or games over the past 2 years can you attribute losses to coaching?
I'm going to say there's at least 3 last year.
3 last year,
Yes,
which means y'all would have been over a
we would have
10
been 10
win
and 7.
team.
We've been a playoff team last year. Now here's the thing.
That's the part that I worry about.
Yeah.
That there were games when y'all were leading a large portion of the game late into the game and lost, which that can still happen.
That can still happen, right? Like there's nothing that doesn't say like the wrong defense won't be out there on a final drive by the Detroit Lions, right? There's nothing that says that our quarterback won't just throw the ball backwards 30 yards and have it scooped up for a scoop and score from the red zone, right? Like they were looking to score and he threw it. There's nothing to say that won't happen, right? Like those things. But there felt like there were legitimate coaching blunders last year that you would think a better staff would have prevailed through, right? Would have figured out how to do. So that's a real thing. That's a real issue. It could be a total thing. I don't think. Here's the thing though. Here's the thing with Ryan Poles and Eberflus. For some reason, Poles loves Eberflus.
That's not good.
But there's something about it. Like I don't know. Like he has the support, right? Like it's not like they could have fired him. There have been multiple times last year if they would fire him in the middle of the season, nobody would have shed a tear, except for probably the Eberflus family, right? No one else would have cried. So, and he didn't. He stuck with them and came to this point. I don't know. I don't know what happens.
You have to hope that he learned his lesson with Fields.
Yes.
And he can handle a young quarterback now.
Yeah. Well,
and maybe took some lessons from that. Run the stuff that he likes to run.
Yeah.
You kind of hope that he did, but if he did learn, there's not going to be enough talent on that field to make up for bad coaching.
You say that, but they got a lot of talent they're throwing out there, especially on the offensive side, right? Now, here's what we'll say about the handling of the quarterback. They have a superior offensive coordinator. Shane Waldron's offenses, I actually have numbers for this. He is the offensive coordinator for 3 years in Seattle, right? 3 years in Seattle, offensive coordinator, where he had Russell Wilson 1 year, and then he had Geno Smith for the next 2 years, right? Last year, Fields and Bagent combined for 513 pass attempts, 3,400 passing yards, 3,096 net passing yards. So they had almost 400 yards of sack yardage lost. 182.1 net passing yards a game, so sub 200. 19 touchdowns, 15 ints, sacked 50 times.
Wait, who's this?
That was Justin Fields and Tyson Bagent, the Bears quarterbacks for last year, combined. They combined for that. Justin Fields didn't have 3,000 yards passing, so he's sub 2,000 or sub 3,000. That's 19 touchdowns, 15 ints. 21 with Russ. They threw 495 passes, 3,815 net yards. What is that number? Oh, I'm sorry, 3,815 passing yards, 3,400 net passing yards. So Russ takes a lot of sacks.
Again. He does.
30 touchdowns. That's Russ's last year.
He always throws a lot of touchdowns, usually.
22 with Geno, 573 passing attempts, 42-82 passing, 39-34 net. So far fewer sacks, 30 touchdowns. Last year with Geno, 575, 41-67 passing, 39-10 net after the sacks. So just a couple hundred yards of sacks, 23 touchdowns. And Geno Smith missed a handful of games last year, right?
Yeah.
So just from an offensive scheme standpoint, they're going to throw the ball more. They're going to use a lot of motion. They're going to use a lot of 2 tight end sets. And they have 3 wide receivers that if they're all on the field at once, how do you guard them? How do you guard DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Roma
Sack
Dunze?
the quarterback. You sack the quarterback.
You have to. That's the only thing. Like, you have to stack the quarterback. But if let's say they run a blitz, let's say they run like a zero blitz or whatever, then you have DeAndre Swift for a dump off.
We're assuming that these guys are gonna be good. What if he's quitting from the Chargers? Can't catch a pass in the NFL.
Which one, DJ Moore or Keenan Allen?
Bro.
Okay. Well, boy, I'm gonna tell you what. I'll take everything back if that's the case. But there's nothing. See, now with Quentin Johnston, there was a history to look at that said, "Oh, he's got brick hands." Roma Dunze is not a brick hands guy. He's a go up and get it guy. He's a 75-25 guy, right, on 50-50s. So I've watched a lot of Roma Dunze highlights over the last 5-6 days, right? One of the things that people praise him for is what they call late hands, right? So when you're a wide receiver and your DB's tailing you, they're not looking at the quarterback, right? So they have to watch you to see when the ball's coming. He is here's the ball, here's my hands, like last second sort of thing. His hands don't go up until he needs to catch the ball, right? So which is a big thing. He's huge on separation, and he was the best at contested passes last year. He had like a 70% contested pass win rate or something like that. It's something ridiculous. Like,
that's Michael Penix Jr.'s accuracy. That's all accuracy. You said uncontested or uncontested?
Not uncontested. Yeah. Contested throws.
Yeah, he threw it right where
everybody
Rome could get it. Rome could get it. The only one person can get it.
And if that's true, so be it. But now he has Caleb Williams, who's a subpar quarterback.
I
don't mind the hate because you know why? They're running out there with Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, and then I cannot remember the other tight end that they just got from San Diego or the Chargers is. I can't remember what his name is. But that's what they got running out there. Undoubtedly the best offense the Bears have ever assembled. And I haven't seen a pass from Caleb Williams in the pros yet, right? And I'm willing to say it is the best offense they've ever put out there. But I have to be very hesitant. I'm very cautious about it. I'm only saying it to you. I won't say it to anybody else.
Not to anyone that's listening.
Nope.
Because there's no
Plug
one
your ears. This is the Bears' best offense they've ever had. And two of the guys have never played an NFL snap.
It's not difficult.
No, that's true. That's very true. I've seen a lot of bad Bears offense. A lot. because it's all of it. I'm just saying.
Oh, when do we do our way too early
We got to do
predictions?
it next week because we had the way too early predictions from way before free agency started.
We need the still too early, still way too early predictions because we don't even have a training camp.
No,
We don't have.
no one's even signed yet,
Mm-mm,
right?
mm-mm. I don't even. My quarterback is still injured.
Yeah,
My quarterback is
yeah.
right now. Drew Lock, we got 0 wins. If you're gonna say how many wins we got with Drew Lock, it's not many. Not
You get a
many.
few. You get a few. I mean,
We
you can
get a
still get
few
Ryan
because we're
Tannehill,
good.
maybe, right?
We're good. No, I'm not worried. If we can throw Tommy Cutlets out there and get a few wins, I'm not worried about Drew Lock.
Mm.
We're fine.
All right,
We're
all right.
fine.
Yeah,
We're
we'll do the
fine.
way too early, the less way too early, but still way too early picks next week.
Yeah, we don't. The only thing is we don't have a schedule just yet. I heard it's supposed to be coming out maybe soon. We could wait till the schedule releases, which I think that's like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, let's do that, and we'll see what the schedule is. Then we'll go down the wins and losses.
Hmm. We know who they're playing, but we just
Just don't
I
know the
would
order.
like to see. Yeah.
Now there is a good chance. So, well, a little more Bears talk, and I'm gonna have a level of disappointment with the Bears because they're not going to be on Hard Knocks this year, even though they seem like the obvious choice for the Hard Knocks. However,
Hmm.
the Bears being a founding franchise in the NFL, they have what is apparently a wink wink nudge nudge deal. Like, we're willing to give up a home game to play in London if we're not on Hard Knocks. We're willing to lose to have an extra away preseason game in Canton for the Hall of Fame game if we're not on Hard Knocks. Right? Like, the Bears want nothing to do with Hard Knocks. The NFL desperately wants them on Hard Knocks this year. How could you not? But they're not going to be on Hard Knocks.
I thought that there was rules on who
There's
can
three
be
teams that are
on.
available for Hard Knocks this year without volunteering. The Bears can be forced, New Orleans can be forced, and somebody else can be forced. Like, somebody unimportant. I don't even know who they are. Right? Like,
Mhm. The rule is I know one of them is if you were a playoff team within the last
2 years.
5 years,
Two.
it's five.
I think
I thought it was
it's
five.
two.
Because the Giants reset the when they by being in the playoffs last year, I thought they reset it for
Yeah,
like
so the
4 or
Giants
5
can't
years.
be in it this year because they made it less than 2 years ago.
ago.
Right?
Yeah.
Or if you have a new head coach.
New head coach.
Those are
you
those
don't
are
get
the
to
two.
do.
Right? So I know the Saints are available, and I want to say I don't even know. I don't even know who else. But it's only 3 teams, and it's not going to be the Bears, which is fine, I guess. But would much rather have. I would love to see the Bears on there, but if they don't want it, they don't want it.
It says it is the third rule. There was a third rule. If you've been on the show within the last 10
Okay.
years. So yeah. Yep. If they've had a new head coach, if they've done it in the past 10 years, and they've been in the playoffs in any of the prior 2 seasons.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, the Knicks get that, the Giants get that privilege of not doing it. They hate it. I don't think they've ever done it.
Yeah, the Bears don't want anything to do with it. They don't want any behind the scenes. They want nothing. And I'm going to say it has to do with Eberflus because he's not the most charismatic individual. Like, think about the last. So Mike McDaniels was the in-season head coach last year. That dude, like,
Yes.
everybody loves him because of that, right? Because he's goofy, quirky, weird, and charismatic. Robert Saleh was the head coach in Hard Knocks before.
Hard Knocks.
Everybody loves Robert Saleh because the dude's just like,
And the year before that was Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. Everybody loves Dan Campbell, right? Like, he's goofy, weird, whatever, right? Matt Eberflus is very plain white toast. Like, not even butter, right? And it's barely toasted. Like, it's crunchy, but it hasn't even turned brown. Like,
still a little flimsy.
little flimsy.
Still a little
It
flimsy.
has a little rigid to it, a little bit of crunch mouth feel, but it's Wonder Bread. Been in there for one, right? You pull it out, you're like, oh, I can feel it got harder, right? That's Matt Eberflus, but now with a beard.
Now with the beard, it's got a little crunchier.
Yeah,
Just a little slow grunt.
there's something about him, man. Like, they don't want him because I think he'll be on there saying weird shit. And they don't want his weird shit out there, right?
I just think that they don't want like, especially some of these older franchises that they don't have billionaire. They have all the owners are
Yeah.
billionaires, but not someone who's recently come into these legacy teams that have legacy owners. They don't understand. Well, they understand, but you know how a lot of people just go, "Hey, all publicity is good publicity." They're trying to sell something.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jerry Jones loves being on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's team people who just like, hey, we want to promote, we want to get out there. Those older franchises, like, no, we just want to play football.
Yep.
We don't care about the promoting. We just want to go out there and play football. And that's to me, Woody Johnson should be that, the owner of the Jets, but he's got to compete with being in
New
the
York,
second
yeah.
team in a market. And so he's got to have to do some of those things, like get a Brett Favre and
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers,
Rodgers.
yeah. Get Green Bay Packer second hand stuff. Yeah, like the Bears don't want it. Now the thing is, if the Bears did it, those dudes would be like, I'm telling you, just from the things I've seen from Caleb and Rome, just talking, they would be like the most popular NFL players, like instantly. Roma Dunze is a genuine character, like sort of like individual, right? Like going back to the combine. Rome, would you be able to land a plane if there was an emergency? No, everyone would die. All souls perish, right? That's just a straight up. But he's goofy and he's weird and he says stuff like that. And like even recently, what do you think about the Packers? Oh man, I hate them. I puke when I see green now, right? Like it's tongue in cheek, right? But it's such meatball-y sort of thing, right? Like I guarantee.
I don't like it. I don't like
Oh
it.
man, he is that.
like
Like he grew up
like
milking cows on his grandpa's farm, right? Like there's just something about him. Like he is going to be a superstar. Caleb is going to be a
I,
superstar, and all this shit scares me so much.
I saw Caleb go dumb Bears, and I said, "Oh Jesus Christ, you're horrible. You're going to be
It,
trash
it,
now."
Here's the thing: that team is going. He is going to have the hugest target on his back for the rest of his career. Like there's no getting around. He got booed on stage. He got booed when he got picked. Granted, they were in Detroit, but he got booed, right? He's like, I've never been booed before like that. He's like, kind of cool, right? I'm like, oh man, the dude eats it up, and I didn't quite realize because I'm not like that. Like I always see people that are like that is like, oh, there's something phony about it. Like, no, he's just generally incredibly comfortable with himself in his skin, and he welcomes it. He eats it.
I need to see him play
Yeah,
football.
and if he plays good football, holy shit, man, he's gonna be doing Allstate commercials with Eberflus. Give me them
Oh
nuggies,
no.
right? Like it's gonna be happening.
Oh, you got to win championships before you
But it's
get those.
man,
Come
I'm
on
gonna
now.
tell you what,
Oh.
you just gotta be the right personality and charismatic. And it's funny because Mahomes, I don't think Mahomes is that, but he is close enough to that, right? To where it's like, oh, okay, we can make Mahomes work. Like Aaron Rodgers is that. Unfortunately, he's people. You can put him in things and like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is good. I like Aaron Rodgers, and then you hear him talking, you're like, oh, shut your mouth.
Jerk.
Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about the Bears is they had an amazing draft, in my opinion. Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, right? Third, they took Kieran Amagaje. I'm sorry if I messed up your name because I know you're listening. Hometown kid, offensive lineman, awesome stuff. Ran into Eberflus because him and his dad play at the same golf course last year and said, "You're going to draft me next year." And Eberflus was like, "Neat." He had no idea who he was, right? Ended up drafting him. Then in the fourth round, they take a punter. They take Torrey Taylor. Now I got to talk about Torrey Taylor. Now you might say taking a punter in the fourth round, that's pretty unconventional. Agreed. I don't know if the talent was deep enough for them to like justify, doing whatever. Because if you watch the Eagles, they were trading out of this draft big time. They have like 20 picks next year. Torrey Taylor was the kicker for Iowa. Iowa was the 137th ranked offense last year. Do you know how many games Iowa won last year?
How many
8.
did he win?
They were 8-2. It's
That's
137th
good.
out of 137 ranked offense. They won a game last year 7-3. Do you know where 4 of those points came from? Safeties. And you know why they were safeties? Because this dude pinned whoever on the 1 and the 2 on consecutive punts. Australian punter, he's a weapon. I'm telling you, great pick. Then they trade back into the 6th, and they, oh no, back into the 5th, and they get Austin Booker, who, and this is me being giddy about everything, but all the comps, he's like a light version of Max Crosby. I'll take it. He's like one of my favorite guys. I'll take it. If he develops into that, oh, high upside, Max Crosby like motor, gets after the quarterback. I'll take it. I'll take it. The Bears could do nothing wrong, and they did nothing wrong. It was the greatest Bears draft ever. That's all I have.
You kind of have to wait though,
Nope.
don't you? Don't you have to wait?
Crown their asses. Here's the thing that scares me, right? People are talking, they're like, they're going to be good. Get the parade route ready for 20. I'm like, no, let's shut up.
Who said?
Shut up.
Who's saying that?
I don't know, some national guy for Fox. I can't remember what his name is. The guy with the long, greasy hair, Nick, whatever. I'm so scared of it. They have to be good, and if they're not good, I don't know if my heart can take it.
Oh,
Not
no.
like I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna be devastated. Like if this team does not turn out to be good, I don't know if I can do it anymore. I can't. I'm almost 50.
You have. Think of it this way: if you're not good, it was their rookie year.
Yeah. Oh,
And you will not have Eberflus next
yeah.
year.
So that's not my concern, right? Like if they have a so-so year this year, they go 8-9, whatever, right? Like okay, I get it. I'm talking about over the lifespan of this of
This
Caleb
team.
Williams, Roma Dunze. If Caleb Williams just turns into nothing, right? Like, oh, former first pick Caleb Williams signs a 2-year deal with the Patriots to be backup to whoever, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't want that. If that happens, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. It's just too much. I will have to like, I don't know what I'll do. I don't want to worry about it, but I can't do it.
You're happy right
Yes.
now. Just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh, I know. Listen, hey, like if you talked to me like 5-6 years ago about the Bears, I would say I hope an AFC team moves to Chicago so I can cheer for somebody else. And I've said that several times. I'd dump the Bears in a minute if there's an expansion team.
You guys, with the talent,
I know.
because it's new,
I know.
I still have y'all as third,
Oh.
probably going 8 or 9 wins.
That's fine. You can say whatever you want. I'm
But that's not hate. That's to me.
You're trying to be pragmatic, right? I get it.
I still think that the Lions and the Packers are
the Lions are very
now.
good. The Lions had a nice draft. They had a nice offseason, and they're the team to beat from last year. I get it. They almost went to the Super Bowl. Almost doesn't really count for anything.
No.
Packers, I don't give a shit about them. They're
Okay,
dead. They're done. Like if you see what comes with being a Bears fan is you have to endure the Bears hate, right? There's a lot of Bears hate, and the Bears hate was ramped up this last week, mostly from people in my current home state of Wisconsin. Talking about what like they're throwing out like some game that Caleb lost 46-44 to some quarterback that the Packers drafted in round 7. They're like, oh, see, look at that. Our backup quarterback threw. And then if you look at the Lions, Caleb threw for like 450, 5 touchdowns, right? And the other dude threw for like 118 with a pick. You know, it's like, okay, like it like there's a lot of scared Packers fans right now, and that makes my soul warm. But it scares me so much because I've never had this before. It hasn't happened in so long.
I'm gonna tell you, as a fan who saw somebody on the division think that okay, we have to face this guy for the next 20 years and watch his career go down the drain. I've seen it happen.
Which one?
It was RG3.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That rookie year, I thought we were in trouble forever.
I know. I know.
And
That's
it
why I
didn't
can't get
turn
too
out.
excited. Like I'm very excited, but I temper my expectations because anything can happen, and I'm not going to wish ill on anybody.
But yeah, no, no.
But it happens. It happens in the
I'm not
NFL.
even talking about injury. I'm just there's a lot that goes into being a
Yes.
quarterback.
Yeah, there is. There's a ton that goes into being a quarterback. There's a ton that goes into being a professional football player and being the face of a franchise and playing quarterback. Agreed a million
Being
percent.
being the face of the franchise is one thing. Being the face of the franchise in Chicago,
Yeah, it's different.
that's tough. That's like New
It
York.
is.
It's not even like LA. LA don't they're not I don't care what anyone says. They're not a sports
No.
town. They're not
They have lots
really
of
a sports town.
championships, but they're not a sports town, which is so
They're not a
insane. The Dodgers and the Lakers and, nobody gives a rat's ass, it seems. But
yeah. Chicago's a sports town.
here's the thing. Now, Caleb was asked in his opening press conference. He's like, being the number one overall pick, being, and I think it was even phrased this way, being the expected savior of the franchise comes with a lot of pressure. How do you handle that? And he goes, I'm here. Rome's here, Keenan's here, DJ's here. I can't duck it. Why duck it? I'm here. Like that level of confidence that is just like, and it wasn't like said goofy, it wasn't said insincerely or like ironically. It's like, all right, let's play football. Like there's a level to it that I've never seen a bear like if even let's say that was Justin Fields
Mhm.
and was asked the same question. He would have said something like, I'm going to go out and play the best I can. I'm going to try to be better every week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Right? Like he would have said those things, right? Which is what you're
Mhm.
supposed to say, right? Like, oh, it's a team sport. We have a great team. I'm going to do my best, and this coaching staff is going to lead us, and blah blah blah, right? Caleb's just like, yep, we got these people. I'm here. Let's do it, right? And it was like, all right, let's do it. Like I'm on board. Choo choo. Like there's no stopping this, right? Like the only thing that can derail this is it just imploding. Like that's the only thing that can happen. Like I don't, if it doesn't implode, even if it's just kind of good for a long time, I'm kind of okay with that because even the kind of goods have those spikes in there where you win, right? You just got to be good.
Yep.
Like
Just got to be
they
good.
haven't been good for so long, and that's why it's tough.
Like they haven't been.
No,
They had some bad years.
they've been genuinely pretty bad for 3 decades. They've had a few spikes in there.
They have a few spikes in there. There's teams that don't even get
I'm
those
talking that's
spikes.
3 decades, though. That's like 30, 35 years we're talking about just not being good. I don't want to go over the Packers numbers again, but remember when Favre came in? It's not good. Like, it's just a lot of not good. It's tough losing to the same team every year
That hurts. That hurts. That
for
hurts.
4 decades, right? like the Giants at least have a couple Super Bowls and have gone to the Super Bowl another time, right? Like they have that in there, right? Like they've done that. They consistently, well, like every third year win the division, right? Like that happens, right? Like
I ain't been happy.
well,
But I see what you're saying.
It was there, right? Like Giants had Eli Manning for better or for worse for 15 years. They had a consistent, sometimes Pro Bowl, Super Bowl winning quarterback for 15 years.
Future Hall of Fame. You get that out of there.
Well, reluctantly. Bears ain't had that ever. No sustained success. And that's one of the things that Poles want to do. It's like we want to build a franchise that can consistently win. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. You guys are, because you guys are at the stage of the part where you've got a team, right? You've got some guys. Some are homegrown. Some are free agents. A lot of free agents. Now, you got to pay the guys. You're gonna have. There's gonna come a time where you're gonna. I just want to make sure, like that's the part of the next phase of GMing that we need to see.
And I think because we've already had several extensions, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we just extended Cole Kmet 2 years ago. We extended Jalen Johnson this last year to a huge cornerback contract, right? Like DJ Moore is going to be on the block in a couple years, right? Like these things will
Mm-hmm.
happen. It's just how you balance it.
What about
And
what about Montez
oh
Sweat?
yeah,
Y'all paid
they
him,
paid
right?
him.
I
They
paid
paid him a
him.
ton of money, right? Like they brought in big money. Tremaine Edmonds, they gave him a bunch of money, but it's all front loaded, and like they have smart contracts, and it seems like he knows how to. He comes from Kansas City, right? That's where he learned under Scott Pioli and like those other guys in Kansas City. Ian Cunningham, his assistant general manager, came from Philadelphia, who are like the two most successful like contract
Mm-hmm.
wheeling and dealing, constantly have talent coming in teams in football. It's just those two right there, right? Like the only other one would be San Francisco, but it feels like they're going to be in trouble soon, right?
Because of
Purdy,
their contracts.
Purdy, Ayuk, like they got to pay these guys. Just like you said, right? They have Debo. They're trying to move Debo right now. They just can't get
Mm-hmm.
anybody to take him. He's
Yeah,
got a huge contract.
yeah. It's gonna be there. But the thing is, they're not in such a horrible situation.
Because Purdy only makes
Right?
$700,000 a year.
But even when they're gonna probably pay Purdy soon.
They have to.
There are outliers on that team. That team doesn't need all of those weapons to be successful, in my opinion. I think some of that success might be replaceable.
We'll see.
Um, so I like Kyle Shanahan's system, and I think his system bodes well for pretty much like he's gonna find talent, and it might be cheaper than that. Then, and that's why I think they're hesitant to pay some of those players.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, Brandon, yeah, you're under contract. We'll just keep going another year, and we'll try to find somebody that that can do what you do.
Yeah, that's a tougher place though. Even though they drafted in the first round a wide receiver this year, that's kind of an Ayukish sort of player in Pearsall out of Florida. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm looking at DJ Moore, age 27.
Yep.
Uh, he'll be a free agent. He's got 2 more years, right? 2020. No, yes. I always get how this contract works. This year is going to be 2024,
Yeah.
right? And then, so he's got 2 more years left on his contract. That means you don't have to pay him for two
Yeah.
more years, which is good.
Yep.
It's good.
The,
You would have, yeah. Oh, you should be in good state with him. Keenan Allen, we can pretty much see as a rental.
mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to afford to pay him, and you're not going to want to pay a 33-year
Yep.
old, 32-year-old wide receiver. So he's a rental, but you'd hate for him to be really good, right? where you got to question if you're going to pay him or not.
That's why you have Roma Dunze, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if let's say Keenan Allen is really good and they find a way to extend him, I mean, he's got to understand. Well, he doesn't have to understand anything. He's going to want top money, right? But he's going to
Uh-huh.
be 33, 34 when the next season rolls around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say he does come out and have another career year.
1,300 yards Pro
Yeah,
Bowl
the
year.
Bears probably can't pay. I mean, they maybe could next year, give him like another 2-year deal, or maybe they extend him when the year's going on and spread some money out. I mean, they could do that. Or if he leaves, that's a third round comp pick, right? So if he leaves in free agency, the Bears are in line for a third round compensatory pick. All right. So and that's how the 49ers operate. Those dudes are constantly getting all those. Every draft they have like 9 picks and 6 of them are compensatory. It feels like because they're losing guys, losing GMs, losing whatever front office, minority head coaches. When those guys leave, the team they leave from, they get picks.
Oh, it's a good thing to be in. I just
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
gotta see
Right.
it. Gotta see it. Gotta see
And
it.
that's the thing. If you're a good team, you always have guys that can't pay. You just can't. You just can't do it. Like they leave, and that happens.
Right.
And it's like, oh, we got this guy from the Super Bowl winning so and so's, and then they never pan out.
It's only until you win the Super Bowl where you have to pay your guys. Up until that, you can let your guys walk.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this is a problem we have to worry about for the next decade. So Caleb's goals are 8 Super Bowls. He's chasing Tom Brady. That's what he wants, right?
Okay.
I'll take it.
Okay. That's a strong.
It's a goal.
Strong
I don't care.
goal.
Right? Like, hey,
goal.
you fire at it. Let's see what happens. Let's get 8 Super Bowls. Hey, we get 8 Super Bowls. I'll be happy.
Why not say 1?
Oh, I'd be happy with that too. But man, 8?
But I mean, why say 8 Super Bowls?
Because Tom Brady.
But
that's what.
That to me sounds like a slap in the face of like how like you haven't even been here before.
But okay, so his goal is to be the best quarterback ever, right? And for him, the best quarterback is to win the most Super Bowls, which is currently 7 by Tom Brady. So his goal is 8 Super Bowls. It's a fair goal. That's fine. That's what you want to be? Cool. It's very difficult to win a Super Bowl unless you're Tom Brady, who did it 7 times.
Okay. That's one way of thinking about it. I'm not a fan of that. Like the LeBron, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Just say I would like to win a championship.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
That to me is it. Like, yeah, no, I just want to win a championship with the Bears.
So here's the only reason anyone knows about the 8 thing, because his lock screen on his phone had his goals listed on it, and somebody like took a weird picture from a angle and blew it up, and it was like to be picked number 1, to win 8 Super Bowls, to be the greatest. Like that was his lock screen. Okay, so somebody asked him about it. Yeah.
Who puts their vision board on the lock screen?
That's what it is. I don't care. I'll take it.
What a loser.
Shoot.
What a loser.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel
Jones. What's your goal, Daniel Jones?
To walk?
To live to see another day.
so that my neck doesn't get fused.
But that's been his goal since he got drafted, though.
Listen, I bet does his goal say anything about winning a national championship? Because goals were failed. He didn't win any goals.
I don't know.
He got no national championships.
I don't care. Winning national championships hard.
8 Super Bowls, easy.
Tom did it. Tom did it, no problem. Like it almost looked like it was too easy. And now you got Mahomes doing it like it's too easy. He just wants to be the greatest of all time. Great. That means whatever team he's on is doing okay. And that team's the Bears.
They're not doing okay just yet.
I'm just saying. Okay. I know. I'm tempering my expectations. But if that's your goal and it comes to fruition.
I'm throwing it out here. I don't want to say it. Ryan Leaf. I just put the stamp on it.
Oh, shoot. There are very potential Ryan Leafs in this draft. There's a few of them.
Is Bo Nix.
The thing, he's the 6th quarterback off the board, though, right? Like,
okay,
you're not expected to be good, but he is picked number 12. So it's like a double-edged sword on that one. But like, as much as I like Drake May, is he going to be good? As much as people like Jaden Daniels, I'm not a huge fan, but as much as people like him, is he going to be good? Like, there's lots of people that look really good coming out of college that just never amount to anything.
Yeah, Caleb Williams.
Could be. I hope not, but it could be. That's why I'm hesitant. I'm scared. I'm so scared.
I don't see you're saying scared, but you don't look scared.
Well, that's because you look... we're less than a week away from the Bears having the best draft in the history of drafts, right? They've won all. Like, they should just cancel the draft from now on because it can't be better than what the Bears
did. Can't get any better than that. Can't be better than that.
Sorry, all future NFLers, you can't go into the league.
What about the Texans draft last year was better?
Well, they've had, in hindsight, because they've had a year, right? What
I know. I would say that getting the top 5 picks, like getting CJ Stroud and then getting Will Anderson.
Yeah. Well, what did the Bears do? The Bears just got Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
like
I
get it, right? Like, the Bears had the luxury of getting 2 blue chip talents at the top of the board. And
That's exactly what
I know,
the Texans
right?
did.
And it panned out, right? And it was great. That's what I want for the Bears. We need to talk about this though, real fast. Because so many quarterbacks go top now, like it's this bubbling race to the top to get quarterbacks. That means the teams that are good have all of this defensive talent just falling down to them. Right? Guys that were always classically picked in the top 15 are now falling down into the 20s. And those teams just get better. That's where I want the Bears to be. That's why it's so important to have your quarterback, because then you're not racing to be at the top for the draft again, pushing all the good defensive talent down or the skill talent down.
That's why to me you just build a team.
Yeah.
Regardless.
For sure.
Regardless.
But you have to be
you
good.
You don't overvalue any one position.
But you
including
have
the
to,
quarterback position.
You have to value what's the most important position on the field.
It could be.
It always is.
I just don't. I don't think
Super Bowl champions with good quarterbacks far outnumber Super Bowl champions with Trent Dilfer.
Correct, but there are other teams that the quarterback isn't the best guy on the team.
How many Super Bowls did they win?
Okay, the Rams recently won, and Matt Stafford was not the best guy on the field.
Matt Stafford's a Hall of Fame quarterback, though.
He probably will be, but at the time of his career that they won the Super Bowl, he was not that guy.
Am I going to have to pull up those numbers? Because I think he was. He threw for 4,800 yards, 41 touchdowns that year.
What did he do in the Super Bowl? 4,800 yards is a lot of yards.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of yards.
A lot of yards.
Yeah, he had a really good season that year.
He didn't Aaron Donald win MVP of that Super Bowl?
I mean, it happens, yeah. But I mean, you have to have.
No, I think it was.
It's probably Cooper Kupp, right? Because he had that.
Yeah, because it would have been OBJ had he not had the ACL injury that's in that game. But yeah, I think it was.
If you talk to the Bengals fans, it's the refs for calling that hold that put him back down, whatever, right? Or pass interference, but.
I understand the position of quarterback. I just think your goal should be put the best team forward and not overvalue any position.
The only thing is the quarterback is part of the team and is ultimately the most important piece of the team because
he's a piece of the team, and yes, he is important.
But he's the most important piece of the team. It is. It always is. The teams that consistently fail are teams that don't have quarterbacks. And the teams that don't have quarterbacks is...
But what's your idea of failing? Because only one team wins the Super Bowl.
I understand.
Are you saying that the other teams are failing?
So, okay, let's go this one here, right? Mm-hmm. The Bengals, bad. The Bengals get Joe Burrow, good. The Bengals, Joe Burrow gets hurt, misses
the Bengals get Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
You know why they got Jamar Chase? Because Joe Burrow got hurt and missed the second half of the season. They ended up picking third. Joe Burrow comes back. What do? They go to the Super Bowl. Right? Joe Burrow gets hurt. They're not there anymore.
But Jamar Chase isn't there. They're not there.
For sure. Like you have, like I'm not against, you have to have 11 guys on offense and you have to have 11 guys on defense and you have to have 11 guys on special teams, right? You have to build a team. Yes. But the most important is always the quarterback.
But when you value that quarterback as the most important, you make picks like Bo Nix at 12.
No.
Instead of trying to get someone who would better your team, you think that the quarterback is so important that we are not going to be a good team unless we have him. And you overanalyze and you pick someone. You pick the wrong guy.
That's just bad team building, right?
But that to me is that's six. That's how six guys end up in this pick, and we don't think the six guys deserve to be there.
These guys, there's many quarterbacks that should not have been drafted in the first round that were drafted in the first round. I agree. But they're drafted in the first round because you have to have a good quarterback to win. But if you're so desperate that you have to be the smartest guy in the room and your evaluation is, Bo Nix is the guy that's going to change his franchise, then you're probably going to fail because let's say Bo Nix hits, right? Let's say in the unlikely future that Bo Nix is the quarterback the Broncos have desperately wanted since Peyton Manning retired, and then since John Elway was there, right? This is a
Mhm.
new face of Denver, right? For every Bo Nix, there's 100 other guys where like this is the guy, think this is the guy, shoot the arrow, and they never hit. They never hit, right?
Mhm.
That's why it was so important to take the top guy at one, because it's the most likely position of hitting on that spot.
It is, but we've seen it fail
Yeah,
or not fail, but
every position picked in every spot
right.
fails at
Can
some
fail.
point, right?
Can fail.
Like there's just no
Yes.
way around it. But if you're trying to minimize the risk, and that's why everybody's like, you can. If the Denver's convinced themselves that Bo Nix is the savior, then God bless them. But it's just not going to happen. If Atlanta has convinced himself that Michael Penix Jr., however pro ready he
Whenever
was,
he gets in
like if he ever gets a chance, odds are against him being a successful NFL quarterback. Odds are against Caleb being an successful NFL quarterback. But if someone's going to succeed, having the top pick is the place to do it, right?
I get it.
Sometimes it happens at
That
2 and 3. Sometimes it happens in round 6, pick 199, right? Like it, but very rarely, right? All of them, it's like the hardest one to hit, but it's the most important to hit because if you don't have it, your odds of winning are so much slimmer.
I don't see. I think you can win. It's like I
You
think
can.
it's
You can be successful and competitive, but the odds of being consistently successful and competitive, you have to have a good quarterback.
I think you have to have a good team.
Yes,
Like you
and the
have
quarterback is
you
part of the team. There's a
is part of the
reason
team,
the
but
highest salary.
it's the only position that is drastically overvalued. Drastically overvalued until to a point where it hurts teams and it goes against picking constructing a team because you feel that you absolutely have to have this
I
position
agree with that.
even though there's no one out there that's
I
available.
agree with that
But you
100%. But it's
I'd
still that's
much
why they swing so hard at it because they have to hit it. And if they don't hit it, like everybody's chasing that Tom Brady hit or that Dak Prescott or that like oh look at these
yeah.
guys like ooh nobody else see that's why I consider Spencer Rattler the best quarterback in this draft, right? Like bullshit. He's trash, right? He's going to be trash. He's going to be out of the league in 5 years. It's just how it works, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't control it. I'm not the fates, but these are the things that happen, right? But that's why they swing so hard for these things, and that's why it's getting worse. It was not like the draft
It was bad. It's been
the
bad.
draft, like
It's been
even the
bad.
draft 2 years ago when Kenny Pickett went in the first round, he was the only first round quarterback, and then no quarterbacks went until the third round. And guess what? They all sucked. Every one of them. There's a reason they fell, and like people were reaching for them in the third round. Now imagine, like it feels like that same. So the talent level for the quarterbacks then was where it was at. So imagine if the quarterbacks were just a little bit better, it would have been a lot like the last 2 years where people are just running up the charts, running up the draft to get guys because they were kind of
That
a
are
little bit better. Like we're the team that will figure it out this time.
never
It never
I
is.
said I that's why I was like no Giants. Don't
Oh,
don't get a
I'm
quarterback.
I am genuinely happy the Giants didn't take a quarterback, but I also secretly wanted them to because I thought it would have been chaos. Like because it's just that little bit of hate, that little bit of hate. I wanted to see the spiral of madness that would have been the New
That
York Giants.
but I feel like you have the talent.
Hmm.
You can make a quarterback that may not be great look good. And if he can be good, you can win.
Yeah, I I don't think you can make bad quarterbacks good. You can hope for like a lightning in a bottle season where a guy like
But what
figures
makes a quarterback bad? In the term of bad quarterback, what are we
negative
talking?
plays. The worst thing you can do is negative plays, sacks, interceptions, fumbles. Like those three are huge, and then being an inaccurate passer. Like those four things are
But
bad quarterback play.
I don't think sacks should be a quarterback's number as well because of the fact that you have 5 guys in front of
Sure.
you whose job
Oh yeah.
is to prevent me from getting sacked.
But there are guys.
My job
Yeah.
is to pass the ball.
Yes.
Right?
But there are
So,
guys who, for better or for worse, hold on to the ball for a very long time. And we saw one. There's two of them on the Steelers. There's two guys on the Steelers that have historically taken tons of sacks. Some are on the offensive line. Some are beyond their control.
but Wilson's not a bad
No,
quarterback.
he isn't. But
He takes a lot of
you know
sacks,
why?
but
He's accurate.
see, those are the stats to me that make a quarterback good or bad. You're bad if you cannot hit your target. That is
if
it.
you
You're
are
bad.
the reason for negative plays and you can't hit your target, you're a bad quarterback. That's what makes it tough.
But it's hard for me to be the reason for negative plays when I can't throw the ball because I'm getting sacked.
Not just sacks. I'm talking sacks, fumbles, interceptions. Those are the 3 negative quarterback plays.
Well, fumbles happen when I get sacked.
Sometimes
as a quarterback,
they also fumble when you're running around like a goofball trying to make stuff happen.
Probably shouldn't do that,
right?
Now,
now, on the flip side, who's the best quarterback on the planet?
Patrick
That
Mahomes.
motherfucker holds onto the ball until his arm's going to fall off. He does not get sacked, and he always hits his target. He does not contribute to negative plays.
Because their pocket is clean. One, he's got a right tackle that's jumping every play.
I don't know how clean his pocket is all the time. I think the dude with the cleanest pocket is Jalen Hurts. That offensive line is a brick wall, and he just stands there and is able to find a target.
He gets hit.
He gets it occasionally,
Jalen Hurts gets hit.
But like,
Gets hit.
do you remember in the Super Bowl? He had like a 40-yard toss down the left side to AJ Brown. If you watch that highlight, he takes a stab and he stands stationary for like 5 or 6 seconds before he throws the ball. There's no pass rush. That pocket is the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And yeah, a good quarterback makes those passes and hits the guys. But like,
he should.
Yes.
He should. He's got a clean
but
pocket.
he's not contributing to negative plays, right? And he's accurate.
If he's got a clean pocket, if you've got a clean pocket and you're contributing to negative plays, that means you're inaccurate.
Yeah.
Which still comes to the one thing that because you're throwing more interceptions than you are.
But you can be inaccurate and just miss, right? And you don't have turnovers.
You can.
You can throw like 55% and not have turnovers, right?
Yes, that's my argument for why I don't like Cam Newton.
Yeah. Right? Like,
yeah. Just an accurate quarterback.
Those are the things. But Cam made up for everything because of he's just like this freak athlete, right? Who was able to do the run, was able to evade those captures.
But like we said, what makes you a bad quarterback is inaccurate.
Inaccuracy and negative play. Right? Like you
which were tons of them. You're trying to overlook them.
Oh, no, but I'm saying inaccurate. He's able to overcome is he a great pocket passer? No. Did he have great pocket passing moments? Yes. Is he accurate? No. Did he have moments of accuracy? Yes. Is he a guy that contributed 3,500 to 5,000 yards of offense a season? Yes. Right? That's the thing. Justin Fields couldn't even do that, right? Like he couldn't contribute, that 35 to 5,000, and he ran for 1,000 to 1 year, and he barely had 3,500 yards, right? Like it just is what it is. Like you don't want a bad quarterback. You can win maybe with a bad quarterback if you get those lightning in a bottle years and everything works, but to have sustained success, you have to have a good quarterback. You just have to.
Like I said, that's the tough part about the good quarterback. Like, because I think Daniel Jones gets labeled a bad quarterback, and I don't think he's a bad quarterback.
Here's the thing with Daniel Jones. He's not good. Like he's not particularly good. Like he has moments.
Like what? From where?
What?
He has. This is the reason why. Like I said, he's not an inaccurate passer.
Mm-hmm.
He can move the ball with his feet. So the bad things that you're talking about are things related to the offensive line due to him getting sacked.
Yeah,
the negative plays. That's what I'm trying to.
Stuff.
The bad. That's what I'm saying. Well, then the what stuff is he especially bad at?
Forget the like. I don't watch Daniel Jones enough to say.
And it's the same. Well, let's go back to
But
let's go
if
back
you
to let's
if
go
you
to
look
Eli
at pure
Manning.
numbers, right?
What makes Eli Manning? Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
go ahead, Eli Manning.
We may have watched more Eli Manning,
Yeah.
who led the league in interceptions.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Multiple years. Multiple
What have I said
years.
about Eli Manning?
I don't know. He's the greatest quarterback that ever lived.
He's in the Hall of Very Good. He's not in the
He's
Hall of Fame. He was a very good quarterback. He was a good quarterback with spikes of amazing that levels out to very good. The fact that his last name is Manning is getting him in the Hall of Fame.
But he was not an accurate quarterback. Probably his career. He was a gunslinger, so he threw a lot of interceptions. I think he had some years where he was slightly above 50, but his last couple of years he was over 60%. He's not Drew Brees. I'm not comparing him to that.
Without looking it up, how many
He's 60.
How many years above
Years of
65% completions did
65 that's a lot.
No, 65 is like Sanders, 64, 65. Okay, well, let's do 64.
Now it is.
How many years?
Don't want 64.
How many years
I
above
like to go over
64
60.
did he have?
I go over 60. He probably had 2.
He had one above
3.
64.
That's what I'm saying. But he had some years
And that
in the
was
60s.
his year 37. Now, how many years did he have below 60?
He probably had about half his career. Probably the first 4 or 5 seasons, and then he became a more accurate passer as his career went on. But his first couple years were not very accurate.
Correct. But he had 6 in total. 1
of a 16-year career.
1 was a damn Pro Bowl year. He threw 59.9% for 3,900 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 15 picks. 59.9%. That is not good. Right?
That's solid.
50, they followed that up with a 57.5%. That's year he threw 27 interceptions. He led the league in interceptions 3 different times. He's not, in his career, he's a 60% passer, which is not good.
Yes. It's not bad. 60% is not bad.
It's not good.
For your career. 60%.
Well, considering he pulled it up from 48, 52, 57, 56 for his first 4 years.
Yes, those were not very
60,
good.
62, 62, 61, 59, 57, 63. Ooh. 62, 63. Ooh. 61, 66. What happened? He's old man Eli.
No, he became a 61. More accurate passer. He was a gunslinger early in his career. He would throw that ball deep all day long.
Even the year that he had 61 to finish his career, he only played 4 games. Right. So
yeah, he was at that time he was an over 60% completion guy.
Eli,
which is not bad. 60% is not a bad percentage. He was consistently
good with flashes of excellence. Has 2 Super Bowls, which makes him very good. But as a career for a whole, you couldn't count on Eli to be an accurate passer and not throw a bunch of picks.
Yes, you could. He led the league in interceptions. Look at his interception numbers. Watch them drop. Look at him.
Which year that he led the league in interceptions?
The last year he
one
led
was
the
his
league
year
in
32, right? It was his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was his 10th damn season, right? So then he threw 27, which is a ton. Then he threw 14, which is still a lot. Then he threw 14, which is still a lot. And he threw 16, which is more than that. Then he threw 13, which is only 1 less than a lot. And then he threw 11, which is back down to like 9, 10, 11. That's kind of where you want to be, right? Aaron Rodgers was like a 2 interception guy, right? Those are. And he's a very good quarterback, right? That's what I'm saying.
But we wouldn't say Eli Manning was a bad quarterback.
No.
Would you say he was a bad quarterback?
He was a good quarterback. So, he was fine.
That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wasn't arguing with that.
To be a bad quarterback, I think you can win with a good quarterback. If we're saying that Eli Manning was a good quarterback.
I have said nothing more than you need a good quarterback. And that's why people chase it so hard, because you need a good one.
But good isn't great. right? These people are looking
Oh,
for
sure.
great in their quarterbacks.
Why
They're
wouldn't
not
you want a
looking
great
for
quarterback?
because you can't find them that
But why wouldn't you
easy.
want one?
When you are sacrificing your team to fish, throw another rod in the
Oh,
reel to hopefully pick the big one, when you don't have when you're looking for a monster and you're constantly throwing back these little fish, you
and
need
I
to
agree. I
eat.
agree with you. Denver got rid of a good quarterback. They ran him out of town. They were saying, "Oh, we'll take a $90 million cap hit this year because we don't want a good quarterback. We want Bo Nix." The freaking Falcons
Atlanta.
had no quarterback, signed a very good quarterback, and said, "We still need to draft a quarterback." That's dumb. I'm not arguing against that. I'll say that all day. That's just stupid. Denver and Atlanta, terrible drafts. I don't know why they did that. But New England needs a quarterback. They have nothing,
New England.
right? So they
New
drafted
England.
a quarterback.
I'm
Fine.
sure.
Washington needs a quarterback. Guess that they
Got
did.
it.
The Bears needed a quarterback.
Vikings.
They draft
Vikings.
what? Who? The Vikings? Vikings got
Vikings.
rid of a good quarterback. They needed a quarterback, and so guess what? They got the fifth one off the board.
That's
And they
not
had to
good.
pretend like that's what they wanted when they really wanted
That's
Drake
not
May.
good. It's that
I know. I
you shouldn't
agree.
do that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't
And
do
the
that.
thing,
You
the
shouldn't
thing
do
is,
that.
I don't think they're better with J.J. McCarthy than they are with Sam Bradford. No,
No.
that's the thing. Yeah.
Sam
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold. Sam
Sam
Bradford. Yeah,
Bradford
he's
should
like,
be done.
they can bring Sam Bradford back from the grave too and be okay.
He's not Jay. He's not
Well, he
Jay.
might as well be. Uh, I'm not arguing. You need a good
I just
quarterback. And it's good to
you
have a great quarterback because you get one with a good quarterback. Eli had, 15 seasons? Great. He had a great long career. He won 2 Super Bowls. That's what you want. And in those 2 years, he had great postseasons. Holy shit, he was unstoppable in the postseason, right? That's what you
it
want.
might have not
That's
thrown
why you
any
want to get to
yeah.
the postseason because if you have a good quarterback, they can be great in the postseason and you win a Super Bowl. Look at Joe Flacco, right? He's not a particularly good
What
quarterback, but he was good that year, and then he was great in the postseason. He was unbelievable in the postseason.
that's the thing. Like, take the time to make your quarterback
Yeah,
good. You don't need great. You don't need great. It's good to if you have great,
yeah,
that's good. If you are the Kansas City Chiefs and
you get great. Yeah,
Patrick
yeah.
Mahomes when you have Alex Smith and you're looking at the bench like that might be great.
Well,
You get rid of
that
Alex
was a
Smith.
plan, though. Alex Smith was like 33, 34 at the time. They knew what they were doing.
He's,
They knew what they were
yes,
doing.
yes.
And if Mahomes wasn't the guy, they probably wouldn't have drafted a quarterback, and they would have ran it with Alex Smith for another year to see what happens the next year. They're a good franchise. They're a well-run franchise that knows how to do things. They had a good quarterback, and they're willing to bring in a guy that could be great, and they even let him sit for a whole year, right? Like, and I know that becomes the whole thing.
That's another thing that I did. There's no way that Bo Nix was their guy.
Couldn't have.
Like there's
No way.
no way. No way on God's green earth that Bo Nix was that guy. Like to me, your guy, what means to me is your guy is okay. If I've got these 3 guys in a room, this is the guy I want.
Yes.
Right? That's it.
Yeah.
That's how I say my guy. Not I'll take whatever's left. That's my guy. I'm taking whoever's left on these 3 guys. That's my guy. That's
And then that's what.
and if my guy's not there, like you said, if Rome wasn't available, the Bears probably don't take a wide receiver, which to me is smart. You have your draft. The way it's now written, it seems like the draft board for the Broncos said Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Penix, and then Bo Nix. They're top 6 guys on their board with quarterbacks. I don't believe that. There had to have been that board doesn't even make sense. The board doesn't even make sense.
Either that or their board was something insane like Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, right? Then if that's their board, then they should all be fired if that's their board.
Like, this is a playboard, right? This is the board that we're showing on the draft just in case they pan to us, right? This isn't the real one.
No, that is like, if that was what they're doing, then that is one of the worst pre-draft GMing jobs done on the face of the earth.
Peyton has got to be gone after a year.
Yeah, you think?
Unless he truly thinks that Bo Nix is a good project for him and he wants to sit there and make it work. It's only going to take 4 or 5 games, maybe not, maybe preseason before he goes, okay, maybe this isn't the team for
But then
me.
who do they run out there?
They have no choice but to.
They
Well, Zach Wilson. They might as well run Zach Wilson out day one anyway.
they might as well. However, I will say this: Bo Nix was in college for like 10 years. So
That was all of them. All of them. This is the COVID group. This is all these people were here for extra time than they probably should have been.
Bo Nix, I think, was like a 5-year starter. Like he played for a long time, a lot of snaps, a lot of throws. So maybe he's good.
And had he had one good season, he'd have went out in a different draft.
He had a great season last year. He
Like,
was the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year last year.
Last year? Over Michael Penix Jr., who was in Washington?
Mm-hmm. Right? They only pull up them Bo Nix stats, and you'd be like, Bo Nix, really? He was good. He was really good. I will say this: if you look at the pictures of him, like he looks like he's been in the sun. He looks like a 35-year-old leathery-faced sun guy. He threw for 4,500 yards, 45 touchdowns, 3
Jesus
picks,
Christ.
and he threw for 77% passing last year. He was the Pac-12 Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. If he had a good year, he would have been. He had a really good year last year. And if you look, he was a 5-year fucking starter from freshman year to his double senior year.
Yeah, it started 11 games in 2020 in Auburn.
Yeah.
2021 started 10 games at Auburn.
Yeah. Auburn,
Looks
transferred to Oregon.
Looks like he had one good. Jesus Christ, that picture. He could have stayed out the sun for that picture.
Yeah. He looks real leathery and wrinkly. But he is like 45 years old. So
24.
like he had a really good year last year. He had a great year last year. I think he was the runner-up for the Heisman last year.
That's a solid year.
Yeah.
45 and 3 interceptions.
Yeah. It was an amazing year. 11 yards an attempt. That's amazing. 77% completion rate. Amazing. Great year. Is he gonna translate to the NFL? I really doubt it.
Yeah, he was third in Heisman Trophy voting.
Okay, so then it went Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., and then Bo Nix.
Then Bo Nix, yep.
But Bo Nix was the Pac-12 Player of the Year last year.
Oh man, I'm looking at their numbers. Like completion, he had a higher completion percentage. Michael Penix threw for more yards than him with only one more completion. Like he threw for 400 more yards than him with only one more.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's
one
Sean
less
Payton's
completion.
Like,
sorry,
if we take out all the short throws, then he's a really good long passer. Well, he only threw whatever. Right? It's just not happening. I will say this about that Washington team though. Two offensive weapons go in the top 9 picks from that Washington team. All three wide receivers were drafted in the top 4 rounds. Maybe even the top 3 rounds. And the quarterback. And a couple tackles, I think. Like that Washington team that went to the national championship last year almost sent its entire offense to the draft and got drafted.
It's a good team. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I gotta stop.
Yes.
I gotta stop.
Oh yeah, now I get to go on
Recording stopped.
and then look at all the people talking about the Knicks.
Just avoid it. Don't.